Oh, the same music. I love it. It's catchy as fuck.
From the heart of Kansas City, we bring you Buk and Bob Take on Chiefs Kingdom, a podcast for fans by fans, where we don't give you a bunch of BS like all the NFL press tries to give you. They don't know all NFL teams. They don't. They say wrong stuff all the time, but we know Chiefs, and that's what we talk.
That's right, Bob. I'm Buck. I'm your passionate co-host. I like to make bold, uninformed predictions, but I love watching this dynasty rule today's NFL.
I love it too. All right. We've kind of like Halloween threw us through a loop, kids, everything else. So we have a little bit of a late episode here, and we kind of don't really have a whole good outline to go, but we're going to fly by the seat of our pants and just see what we can talk about. We're going to definitely talk about Joshua Uche, who just came to our team. And we're going to talk about the upcoming game with the Buccaneers. And yeah, that's going to be the show.
That's going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, I guess I didn't check voicemails either. Jeez Louise. Yeah. Should probably check those.
Get some more?
I'm sure. Yeah, we did, but it's too late now.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? You did Halloween?
Yeah, Halloween with the kids last night. And then we had actually my youngest daughter turned 5 this week also. So Tuesday was a birthday and last weekend was birthday celebration. So it's been a crazy week. But it's super fun.
Yeah. Well,
you've been playing a lot of golf?
We've been playing a lot of golf. It's just, the season's about over, so trying to get in as much as possible. And yeah, just really need to get more in because it'll be over soon.
I need to get out there with you again.
Definitely. We're going Saturday.
We'll see what the plans hold.
All right. Well, so where should we start? Let's just start with Joshua Uche came to us via a 6th round pick in 2026.
How did he get away with that? A 6th round pick. So I've watched a few highlight reels. I've read a few things. This guy's a beast. Like, how did we get him for a 6th round pick? Brett Veach was like, "Hey, I got some leftover lunch in the fridge. You want to hand me a star defensive end too?" Like, what is going on?
I'm telling you, man. I've said it before. He's got dirt on somebody. He's got dirt. He's got dirt.
He's got dirt on everybody.
Yeah, really. It's absolutely crazy. So Joshua Uche comes to us for a 6th round pick in 2026, and that's 2 years from now. And it's just weird because I think it's even a conditional pick. Like, there's even a chance we don't give him the pick. I think if we don't keep him or something, we don't give it to him. So literally, he's not on a big salary. I mean, he was a 2nd round pick in 2020. He had 11.5 sacks in 2022. He is a pass rusher. I think maybe the knock on him is he's just a pass rusher. And that could be the knock that he has. I don't know, but either way, I mean, like, he's going to be in passing downs and
well, with this rushing defense, that's a lot. So I think that knock on him really only holds to benefit the Chiefs. Honestly, we have the 2nd least rushing yards allowed this season.
Yes, but that's
crazy.
But see, we put him in, and that might hurt that stat a bit. It'll be really smart to see how Spags plays him, because you want to play him on passing downs. Will he guess right? Will he guess wrong? will people switch over to audible into a run when they see him on the field? I don't know, but I do know he is excited about playing here. The Chiefs, he came on. Everything he said in his first presser made me think that Joshua Uche is a definite chief in mentality, in the way that he talks. He talked about Chris Jones and just how amazing he was. He was like, well, that dude's a problem. I mean, he's a problem.
Yeah. He is a problem, and I think everybody in the league knows that the man deserves a DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year, even though the stats aren't always there. But what he presents, for the other 10 guys on the defense and the opportunities that he opens up for them, the players recognize that, and Uche would be a fool to not be excited, and it's not just Chris Jones either. You got Karloftis, these defensive backs, uh, Bolton. I mean, this
You got
defense is stacked.
you got number 90 coming back.
Yeah. Now I will say, Spags is notorious for having one of the most difficult defenses to learn. So it could take him a little while to learn that. And so maybe we will only see him in this game for, third and long situations where we know that they're passing. But linebacker hasn't really been
He's not a
a weak
linebacker.
point.
Yeah, he's not a linebacker.
What?
Yeah, okay, everybody doesn't seem to get this. And I think you get it, but you just don't know what you don't know. He was a 3-4 linebacker, pass rusher. 3-4. That's where your two outside linebackers are your pass rushers, and you have two middle linebackers in the middle. And those guys go up in coverage, whereas in the 4-3, your two defensive ends are your pass rushers. He'll be playing defensive end. I don't know if I don't know what he will be. It'll be a little bit of a different situation for him. He'll have his hand on the ground instead of standing straight up. It's a little different, but he's going to be a pass rusher in our 4-3, which means if he is okay in coverage, we could do some weird stuff where the defensive end drops out and a safety comes in for a blitz, to try some trickery. But yeah, it's so annoying with the way 3-4 and 4-3 work. They're completely different positions. Like your outside linebackers in the 4-3 are more like hybrid linebacker safeties, and your linebackers in the 3-4 are in the 3-4 are more like hybrid pass rusher uh uh coverage guys. So yeah, so it's going to be a little bit different for him coming in, but I think he's going to be good in the pass rush. And you were talking about Spags defense. This trade makes a ton of sense. I've heard so many people talking about trading for a corner, and I just want to point out to them, it's the same thing I pointed out about wide receivers. If you look at the history of trades, wide receivers, corners, these guys don't mesh into an offense or a defense really fast. But a pass rushing defensive end or 3-4 outside linebacker is going to mesh in just fine, because they're just, it's the whole like, I need you to get me the ball. I'll get you the ball, coach. I need you to get me the ball. I'll get you the ball, coach. Go. That's what they're there to do. They don't have to learn a bunch of different coverages and everything else. People want us to trade for a corner, and I just don't see it. I just don't get it. I mean, it's way too late in the season to trade for one. We traded for Hopkins, wide receiver. That was amazing, because he's going to be able to slot in because he's a vet and he's been in so many different offensive schemes. He's going to slot in good, but I just don't know that there's a corner that we can get that really would make sense. I would rather get a right or a left tackle, if I'm being honest, if we're going to trade for one more thing.
Yeah, well, let's see what Veach can do with the 7th round pick for 2027. See if he can't pick us up a first rounder.
I know, maybe
All pro.
oh geez, but yeah, hey,
I mean, the guy's
This guy
What he
looks
pulls
like.
off just amazes me.
Well, do you think Uche gets in like right off the bat?
I think he's going to see the field. I don't know how much. I think maybe third and long situations, he's probably
Oh, I think definitely there
we
too.
definitely may see him. You know, so we'll just kind of see. I mean, he's only had what 3 days of practice, 2 days of practice. So I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it's definitely a lot. Even though he's mostly going to be rushing the quarterback, it's still a lot.
I mean, they're home.
So we'll see.
Are they practicing over the weekend because it's a Monday night game? I don't even know how that works. Do they do that?
I don't either. No clue.
Hmm.
No clue. Probably not. Probably not. Probably just a little workout on Sunday just to stay loose.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see. He looks like the way he speaks, the way he talks. He sounds like a chief through and through. It sounds like he's going to fit with this team well. Chris Jones seems to already like him. He said he's just going to have to learn to get along with their fun times they have on the defensive line.
Chris Jones seems to me to be the kind of guy that pretty much gets along with everybody. I mean, if you're willing to go out and have a good time and kind of laugh things up, he's down for all that. He's a funny guy.
Gets along with everybody except the opponent's offensive line.
Mm. Well, yeah. Well, when you're 17 and a half feet tall and you weigh 400 pounds and you can throw men around like they're sticks, I guess that would probably get annoying.
Yeah, might. It just might. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. Do you have anything else to follow up on Uche coming and anything?
No, not with Uche. I mean, I think we're going to see him just a little bit more each week. But I think in 4 or 5 weeks we'll probably see him on probably more of his what we're going to see for the remainder of the season. So hopefully he'll get some play time in so we can have a few things to watch and drool over.
We still don't know when number 90 is coming back either.
Well, if we go by his tweets, he's he's coming back. He's ready to come back. But the way this defense is playing, I know I'm not the only one that thinks this. Just give him time to just sit back and lick your chops and wait for the playoffs, man. And I'm not saying wait to the playoffs to come back, but no need to hurry this. It's the defense is meshing, they're working. I mean, improvements are improvements, upgrades are upgrades. That's awesome, but let's get him back to 95% before. I mean, let's make him fresh and ready.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's freaking out about the quarterback spot, but I think adding a pass rusher just is going to make the quarterbacks better. And I don't think we have a problem there. I really don't. And I don't think that, I think it'd be very hard to find, a corner that's actually going to slot in and be able to play well for us. I mean, maybe Patrick Peterson.
I mean, he's getting old.
Yeah, he's definitely old, but he played with the Chiefs before. He's kind of a dick. I mean, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
he was a great player for us though early on in our run. But I don't know. It's I just don't see a reason to grab one. I would say if you could get a tackle, but I don't think anybody's giving up a premier tackle. Right now, I just don't think that's going to happen, and I think we're just kind of stuck with what we're stuck with, and I think we have plenty to make it, barring injuries. I don't think getting another wide receiver. People have talked about. Not Mike Evans. Williams. Was it Williams?
I think it was Williams. I think it was Mike Williams.
Yeah,
I said Mike Evans, and that kind of made me cock my head a little bit, but yeah, I think it was Mike Williams that was.
Yeah, I don't think
read a little something about it. Wasn't like some big rumor mill thing.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way. I mean, I could be crazy, but yeah, I just don't think I don't think that's the way. But I mean, Uche has a chance to be really good. 11.5 sacks just not last year, but the year before. I mean, this guy has a chance with Jones opening up for him. It could be unreal. And on passing downs, when 90 comes back, like swapping Karlaftis out for 90 and Uche in at both ends, and then having Chris Jones in the middle. I mean, even maybe put Karlaftis in a defensive tackle in the middle, and then you might just have a crazy pass rush right there.
An embarrassment of riches.
So,
Takes me back to the Neil Smith, Derek Thomas days, man, when it was coming from both sides, and it was just
Derek Thomas was a player that was just out of this world. He was a middle linebacker that got sacks. That's like, you don't see Nick Bolton getting sacks. That's just, you don't see them doing that. That's just not what middle linebackers do. But Derek was a different type of player. He was that middle linebacker that was like the fullback to Allstott. You know what I mean? Like fullbacks weren't premier players, and Allstott made it that way as a fullback. That's kind of what Derek Thomas was. He was just out of this world.
Well, he lined up on the ends though when he was doing that.
Sometimes he would come straight from the freaking middle. I mean, he was an absolute monster that I don't know that we've seen the likes of since he's been gone.
No, I don't think so. He was, he was a man playing amongst boys when he was out there. Yep.
All right. Well, what do we got next, Buck? What do you want to talk about next?
Well, this matchup coming up on Monday night, it's gonna be an exciting game. Baker Mayfield is absolutely not afraid to throw the long ball, so we should see some air on Monday night and some great defense. It's gonna be an exciting game. Well, it really just comes down to how the defensive backs play and how much pressure we can get on Baker. I think that's the key right there. If he's got time, he can really make some things happen.
Well, their rivalry goes back to one of the most legendary college games of all time. It was in 2016. Patrick Mahomes, as a Texas Tech Red Raider, took on Baker Mayfield's Oklahoma Sooners in a legendary bout. I mean, with offensive firepower the NCAA had never seen. The game ended with Oklahoma winning 66-59. And it's like one of the greatest quarterback duels of all time. The game totaled 1,708 offensive yards, setting the NCAA record, with Texas Tech amassing 854 and Oklahoma matching that exactly.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes threw for 734 yards and 52 completions.
What?
Yeah.
In one game?
In one game. This is like old school Madden broken stats. I mean, Mahomes had 5 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown and just showed his arm strength off throughout the whole thing. Baker Mayfield passed for 545 yards with 7 touchdowns and no interceptions. And I mean, it's crazy what they had. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It was an offensive bout through and through. And yeah, so that's what started the rivalry between these two guys. And then they went to the NFL, Buck. And the first time they met was in 2018. And the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cleveland Browns. The Chiefs won 37-21. Mahomes threw for 375 yards with 3 TDs. But they won 37-21. Then in 2020, the AFC divisional round, the Chiefs won 22-17. Mahomes, this is the game where Mahomes left in the third quarter with a concussion, and the Chiefs held on for a win. Then,
that's a long time ago.
In 2021, the Chiefs took on the Browns again, and the Chiefs won 33-29. It was a really close season opener game. And Mahomes scored a late touchdown to secure the win. So Mahomes is 3-0 against Baker Mayfield. And Baker, I mean, he got the win over him in college, and he got the higher draft spot. He got, all kinds of things. And he's lost 3-0 now in the NFL to him. He does not want to lose again. He's going to be trying harder than any other game this season.
Just like every other team on our schedule is trying harder for the Chiefs. Absolutely. But I think Baker Mayfield is looking the best that he's ever looked this year. Now, I will say, even though he's number 2 in yards this season, he's only got one guy on the team that he throws to that's even in the top 50 in receiving yards, and that's Godwin. So my theory is, much like the Saints game, when your theory was to stop Alvin Kamara, we need to stop Chris Godwin. And if we do that, I think that we're going to have a pretty successful day.
Well, why don't you just go over some of the Buccaneers team, even though they're banged up, is actually extremely high in the NFL rankings. Just talk a little bit about their offense and their team is actually much better than you would think it is.
Well, yeah, offensively. Defensively, not so much. But yeah, Baker number 2 in yards, but he's also number 1 in touchdowns, right? He's also tied for first place in interceptions with Mr. Patrick Mahomes. So we've got that going for us. If we can get
he
pressure,
still has the touchdowns.
He's going to throw it. Yes, he does. So he's going to throw it. And that's kind of my point. If we can get pressure in his face, which I think we will for the most part, then we can force some mistakes. And the way that our defensive back, remember in the Raiders game, man, that offense was playing gangbusters against our defense that was playing very well. Our defensive backs were in position to make plays, and their hands were literally on the ball, and their receivers were just making fantastic catches, right? So that's not going to happen every single week. I don't expect that to happen with the Bucs. But yeah, so they're number 4 for total offensive yards this year. Again, number 2 in passing, number 9 in rushing. So they're in the top 10 in both categories.
And their rushing attack, they have 2 good running backs.
And they're number 3 in scoring, which is scary because the Chiefs are number 18 in scoring. So that defense really, really does help a lot there. Now, defensively, the Bucs, it's a different story, right? They have 3rd worst in yards allowed, 3rd worst in passing yards allowed. They are number 21 in rushing yards allowed, but our rushing offense is pretty stout, so I feel like we can expose that too. And they're 3rd worst in points allowed. So I think this team kind of plays into our hands again if our defense can get that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, they're 3rd worst in points allowed, and we're number 5 in points allowed.
Number 5 best.
And It's been, I think, years since anybody scored over 30 points on the Chiefs.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Like 28 games or something silly like
something
that.
Crazy. Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah.
So
Now the turnover differential is Actually, pretty close. The Bucks are -2 in turnover differential, and the Chiefs are -3. The big difference is the Chiefs have overcome that to remain undefeated, whereas the Bucks, they've lost a few games. Excuse me. And everybody knows you have to win the turnover battle. I mean, the Chiefs cannot sustain losing the turnover battle every single week and winning every single week. That just isn't going to happen. So that it's still important to focus on those turnovers.
Yep.
But Patrick has been, his interceptions the last couple of weeks have been a lot less Patrick and a lot more, crazy just happens in a football game, right? So yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going to see more from D Hop this next week, and I think the offense is starting to click. They're starting to get into second half of the season playing, and I think it's just going to get better and better. But this is going to be a rough game. This is going to be a rough game. I don't think this is going to be an easy game.
Hopkins was in on 23 offensive possessions last week.
Mm-hmm. And he was open a few different times. It's just Mahomes didn't see him.
For a guy that was on the team less than 1 week, that's insane, man. The amount of professionalism and dedication that he put into learning this offense. We keep saying it. We're just so excited about having him on this team. It wouldn't surprise me to see him in there for 30 to 35 different plays this week.
Yep.
I think they're working hard to get him integrated. He's a scary, scary weapon.
I'm excited for it too, and I think we'll just have to see. I mean, it's going to be interesting, but we're going to be there tailgating. We got some recording equipment. We're going to be out there interviewing people, interviewing fans, trying to get the word out about the podcast. So
if you're out there, hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah. Be nice to
visit.
Be nice to see. Look for us. We'll be the guys that the
we'll
whole
be wearing
crowd's
Chiefs gear.
Yeah, the whole crowd's gonna be following us. It's gonna be just nuts.
Like the Pied Piper.
We need to get the Patrick Mahomes lookalike guy to come with us.
Oh, that'd be sick.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Get him to come on the show with us one time.
Get him to just come on and
go,
and just walk with us and have him hand cards to people. Oh yeah, check out my boy's podcast. Yeah, baby. Check out my boy's podcast.
Let's reach out.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. All right, well, this honestly, there isn't really a whole ton, so I'm gonna call a timeout, and then when we come back, we'll check out some of these voicemails and we'll see if we can just answer.
Great idea.
See you in a second. And we're back from timeout. And just here at the end of the show, we're just going to do some voicemails. If anybody wants to send a voicemail in, it's 1-816-866.
1066.
Yes. 816-866-1066. And right now we're going to listen to a couple of them from our on-site correspondent, Jeremy, who seems to send us all the voicemails. We want some more from some other people, some other voices. Get it in there. But Jeremy, thank you.
Definitely appreciate it.
Here we go.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to say I talk about Jawan Taylor from the Chiefs, number 74. With all the penalties he got in the past, I'm kind of glad that the Chiefs didn't get rid of him, especially now, because I just read online that going up against Max Crosby on the Raiders, they said he did a really good job. He didn't allow any sacks for Max Crosby to get the Mahomes, and I just wanted to give him praise on that because I picked on him more than anybody else that I know of with all the penalties he got. I mean, he's not like Sky Moore dropping ball after ball, but If he can keep protecting Mahomes the way he's been, because the last game they brought Morris in, I forget his first name, but they brought Morris in, and he kept getting penalties on him, and I feel like he wasn't protecting Mahomes enough. But number 74, way to go. I'm going to give him a lot of praise for this game because he kept Crosby off Mahomes. And then also I wanted to touch base on
All right, well, seems like it's going to be two different points. So, yeah, dude, Crosby got just absolutely owned. And
He did,
wasn't
and
that the
no
guy
penalties.
wasn't that the guy that you wanted, Buck?
What, Crosby? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he just got owned by, an okay tackle.
Yeah, he did. He did. And
wah.
he's not supposed to be an okay tackle. He's supposed to be a good one. And if we're not talking about penalties, like if you take those penalties away, his play on the field has been pretty damn good. So he's still a pretty good tackle. He just doesn't know when to start and doesn't know where to start. But to Jeremy's point, absolutely no penalties in the last game. Let's keep the steam rolling into Monday night. Absolutely.
And let's keep making Max Crosby look like a joke that he really is. He's a horrible person, and I hate you, Max. I hate you.
The point about Wanye Morris being exposed, that's just kind of the lesser of two evils right now with Suamataia struggling as much as he did in the first couple of games. They just felt like Wanye was going to give him a better he was going to be better for the team today, right now. I still think in the future, Suamataia will hopefully pan out. I say probably, I don't know, but
I think he probably will
pan out.
I think he
we
probably
do tend
will
to have a lot of success
Michigan,
with our offensive linemen.
Michigan, they're going to have to baby him a bit. I don't mean that in like a way that he's a baby. I mean baby
not
him
like a Larry Johnson kind of way.
Yeah, baby him in the sense that be like, bro, like this happens to so many players. Like just show him examples of other players that, got the start as a rookie because of reasons and then had to be benched and then had success afterwards, because it can mess with, a player's mental at that point,
Ego. 100%. It sure can.
Yeah. So
yeah, if he can keep his head up and keep his attitude, attitude is everything. So if these young guys especially can keep when they fail like he did, if he can keep his attitude and use it as a learning experience, yeah, I think some great things are ahead for us next season with him.
On to the next.
I found out yesterday that an ex-Chief, which was Javarius Ward, had a 1-year-old daughter that passed away, so that's very sad. And I'm so sorry to hear that, because I loved Ward as a Chief, and he was an all-around good guy, and I just found out about that, so it's very sad. So, my condolences to him and his family, what they're going through. So sorry to hear that. And I send my prayers out to them. So, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about number 74, and he had a really good game. That's the first game I don't think he got any penalties. So way to go, number 74, and way to go offense for protecting Patrick Mahomes in this game. My hat goes off to them. All right. You guys take care.
Man, I had not heard about Javarius Ward.
You didn't know about that? Yeah, it was really, really sad.
That absolutely.
My heart goes out to him too.
Yeah, he kind of made his name with the Chiefs, and then he moved on, and he's having more success. More power to him, man. Classy guy.
Yeah. Sorry, man. All right, well, moving on to the next.
Hi, this is Jeremy again. I just listened to your guys' podcast, and I really appreciate you guys mentioning me about Kelsey, what I was talking about earlier in the season, him just staring off space. But that's so cool you guys mentioned me. I didn't even think you guys were even checking your voicemail, but I really enjoy you guys. You guys are
Well,
awesome.
now you know, buddy.
I love the fact that you guys brought a female on to get their point of view. And I just really wanted to say I enjoy your guys' show so much. And I love the Chiefs. I love what you guys are doing. And also, if it's not too much trouble, I'd like to know more about Gray's stats, Noah Gray's stats, because it seems like Mahomes has targeted him from game to game, and he's getting so many catches. So I feel like right now he's been one of the best receivers for Mahomes, and he's kind of like in a, like a invisible area because he don't get mentioned as much. But you guys have been talking about him a lot. I've been thinking about Noah Gray a lot of all the catches he had, and I'm just kind of curious over these games what kind of crazy stats he's got right now, like how many yards, how many catches, carries, and completions he's had. So I don't know if you guys could do the homework on that, but I'm going to try to do it myself. I'm just curious. And if you guys come up with anything, if you can mention it on one of your podcasts, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, keep doing what you guys is doing. And I'm just so glad we got Hopkins. He's doing great. I can't wait to see more out of him. And yeah, go Chiefs. And like I said, love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks a lot for everything. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for calling in, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Hey,
thank
did you ever see the movie 22 Jump Street, where the guy Channing Tatum joins the football team and the coach says, "Nobody tell anybody that he's any good. He'll leave us." I kind of feel like that's how Andy Reid feels about Noah Gray right now. Like, shut up, don't tell anybody how good he is.
Well,
we're gonna need him going forward.
And I remember 21 Jump Street growing up as a kid. It was a show with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
yeah,
it was a drama I didn't watch as a kid, but
I definitely watched I definitely watched the remake with Channing Tatum, who is a much better actor than people give him credit for.
He's very funny. Yeah,
he really is really funny. And he could dance. The guy could dance. I mean, have you seen?
No, I haven't. I have not seen it. I have not.
You should actually watch it. It's pretty good.
It's on my back burner list of movies. Yeah.
All right. Well, I can
Jeremy's
tell
point
you
about Mel, though. Jeremy's point about Mel
about
joining the show was awesome. So Mel is not only a seasoned podcaster, but she's a very knowledgeable football fan, and she does bring a little bit different of a perspective. But she's a big brain kind of person, so having her on the podcast was definitely something that was not a new idea. But Bob and I have been, mostly Bob, has been like hounding her week after week. Come on, join us one time. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more of her in the future.
Yeah. See, she's amazing, but I'm usually right about, not about football stuff, but about just like life stuff. And I told her she would enjoy coming on the podcast, and she didn't believe me. Then she came on the podcast and she was reeling from it the whole night. She was just like, she had a good time. So I did talk to her, and I think she's going to be on the majority of the reaction podcast. She doesn't want to do these ones, the pregame ones, because you have to do work to do that. You have to look things up. And she's like, I'll do anything that doesn't require more work. I'm already going to watch the game, so I'll talk about it afterwards. You know what I mean? So that's where she's at, and she's definitely going to be a part of the show moving forward. So that's good. But Noah Gray. So it's nothing flashy, dude. Like, it's really nothing flashy at all. But this guy is a Swiss Army knife. But we can just go 2021 with the Chiefs, 7 receptions for 36 yards and 1 TD. 28 receptions for 299 yards and 1 TD. 2023, 28 receptions for 305 yards and 2 TDs. Now we come to this year, and he's at 17 receptions for 208 yards and 0 TDs. But he's on pace to have his best year as a Chief ever. And that's weird, too, because you have to think about it. If he was the number 1 tight end, he'd have a lot more. So he's the number 2 tight end with these stats. And, you look at versus the Ravens, he was 3 for 37. Versus the Falcons, he was 1 for 13. Versus the Chargers, he was 4 for 40. Versus the Saints, he was 2 for 29. Versus the 49ers, he was 4 for 66. Versus the Raiders, he was 3 for 23. So
yeah, but
he's getting stuff done in there, but you're also not seeing all the other stuff he does on the field as far as blocking, as far as big the backup long snapper. I mean, he is a gamer. He is a baller. Like that's all there is to it.
We were kind of talking about how Chris Jones, he does so much beyond the sacks and beyond the tackles, right? He's such a disruptive force. And Noah Gray's numbers aren't spectacular. They don't just jump off the page at you. But the plays that he's making when he is called upon, they're important plays. He's getting first downs on third downs. He's getting those extra couple of yards. He's the one guy open that Patrick can see, and he throws it that way, and he just always seems to make the catch. He doesn't do all the extra flashy stuff that Kelsey tries to do, but that's okay. Not many people can do that. He's a Hall of Fame player, so I don't expect Noah Gray to fill that role. But I do expect going forward that that's kind of the answer at this point.
Yeah, and and just to let everybody know, and maybe I'll have to eat crow somewhere years in the future, but Noah Gray is not the next coming of Travis Kelce. I'm sorry, it's Jody Fortson might have been that guy, but he just got hurt constantly and got hurt again and is out again now. He might have been able to do it. Noah Gray is never going to be that guy, but he's a really important part of the offense. And it's just same thing Justin Watson does. He does shit that nobody else wants to do. He's the guy that changes the trash. He's the guy that,
toilets.
Yeah. And you need those players to operate a business. Like, you need people to take pride in cleaning the fucking toilets.
That's right. You can't have all Travis Kelce's and all Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's just not. Yeah, it's not a thing. So
we're unbelievably lucky to have the defense that we have. Unbelievably lucky.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, all right. Well, I think we just have one more. Let's listen.
Yeah, I was listening to the podcast where you guys talking about the 49ers game, and Bob just brought up about, Chris Jones. We didn't really know who he was back then, what kind of guy he was, and you made the comment that, I thought that guy was a dick, but then, he's really a good guy and everything. I love Chris Jones. I think he's awesome, and one thing I wanted to talk about, I brought to you guys' attention that these offensive line people on these teams, when Chris Jones goes to get to the quarterback, they're constantly double teaming them, constantly holding them. Every team we play is holding Jones, and there's no flags thrown on these guys holding Jones. Can you imagine if Jones would get away from these guys? What kind of defense? We already have a good defense, but if Jones wouldn't be getting held 90% of the time, imagine what kind of defense we would have. Our defense would be even better. Jones would be even better. Probably even get turnovers like crazy if he wouldn't be held 90% of the time by these guys that ain't getting flags thrown on them. So I think the officials need to really watch them holding Jones and start throwing the flags, and then that would cut that shit out. excuse my language. But yeah, I think that's something that needs to be talked about, recognized by the officials. Thank you guys for your time. You guys rock. Go Chiefs.
So
Yeah.
yeah, do you want to go?
Unfortunately. Yeah. So unfortunately, you're absolutely right. If they stop holding Jones and they stop double teaming Jones, this defense is going to go gangbusters and go crazy. So they're going to double team Jones and they're going to hold Jones. That's just kind of the nature of things, but that also frees up, another guy to go after him, and Karl Loftus has taken advantage of that a lot. And as we've kind of talked about today, well, we kind of expect that from Uche going forward, or Uche.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know how to. So many people pronounce it so weird across the board. Everybody, I think it's Uche, but I've heard Usha.
Well,
I've heard all kinds
I
of
heard
weird
somebody say on the
pronunciations.
radio this week that he told people, well, he originally told people that it was Uche, and then recently he's been heard telling people it's Uche. So I don't think he really cares all that much. He just cares about, stats and dollar bills.
I mean, Jason Kelsey is actually Jason Kels. We
that's right,
found that out from the New Heights podcast. Their dad finally came clean to him. He was like, "Well, I just changed it because Kelsey sounded cooler, but it was Kels."
I agree. Kelsey's better.
It's so funny though. But yeah, I think the problem here is, guys, like, I'm gonna just be honest with you. The Chiefs get no calls constantly. Like, we get no calls constantly because those are harder for people to point out. But the reason that is, I'm telling you, is because the Chiefs dominating the league is not good for the NFL. It's not good for the NFL at all. And so the refs are actively looking to stop the Chiefs. That's what's actually happening. I know your idiotic narrative with the people that are Chiefs haters is that the Chiefs get all these calls. The actual facts of it is that they don't. They actually get the most no calls of any team in the NFL, and that's going to stay that way, unfortunately, because the NFL needs the Chiefs to lose, and the Chiefs just won't let it happen, and you're going to see continuing no calls. That's just the way it is. If we were the Lions or one of the new flashy teams, they'd be giving us calls all day, but they're not. We're the Chiefs, and they want us to lose. That's the facts of it.
It's the sad truth. But yes, definitely, I hear that narrative every single game. I got a certain fan of another team that hates the Chiefs, and man, do you see that missed call? That was absolutely a hold on the Chiefs. Like, come on, man. It's every single play.
Yeah, Chris Jones is basically held on almost every single play. If he wasn't, we would even be dominating more. It would be absolutely absurd. And the NFL wants offense, so they're gonna, overlook stuff like that. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. So, Jeremy, thanks so much for calling in as much as you do. Don't stop, man. You've made some really good points. We really appreciate the love.
Yeah, we love the voicemails, guys. If anybody else or Jeremy, if you've forgotten the number, I'm sure you have it in your phone now on speed dial.
I think, he's got it like number 3 on his speed dial.
But it's 816-866-1066. I did change the voicemail recording. Also, guys, you can send text messages to that also, so do that too. But it's been fun. Just when voicemails come in, it gives us something that we might not have thought to talk about. And that helps us. It helps you. It helps everybody. Like, give us more that we might not think to say, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. Bring up, pull up your phones, send us a text, please. Even if you just say hi, it's okay to say hi.
Hey. No.
Oh, hey.
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 I want to pay
I
with
want to
you
pay with you
everywhere.
everywhere. Oh, that's crazy.
Woo. All right. Well, we have to get out of here, Buck.
Yeah.
Where can
it's been
people
late.
find us, Buck?
As always, they can find me on Facebook and on Twitter
where
at
us,
find
not
us.
you. Yeah.
Buckandbob.com, man. BUKNBOB.com. You can find all our links there.
Yes, sir.
Everywhere you can find us.
And where can we find you?
Sorry. You can find me on Facebook. And as always, you can find me on Twitter at Bucktastic. That's BUK_TASTIK.
Now, you always say they can find you on Facebook, but what do you mean by that? Because you never say your name on Facebook or anything. Are you talking just our Facebook page, Buck and Bob?
Yeah, Buck and Bob on Facebook.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad I cleared that up because I was always like,
thanks.
huh. We can find you on
I'm
Facebook.
on that Facebook page every day. Yeah.
All right. And you can find me on X at Blazin_Bob. It's BLAZZIN_BOB. And you can just Google that name and find every place else I'm at.
That's Jujul.
Jujul?
Mm-hmm. Jujul it.
Jujul. Yeah, Jujul. Yep. I got it now. I got it.
Thanks.
Yep. I got it now. I got it.
All right, cool. He's a quick one.
Yeah. Oh, that guy's kind of smart. It happens, Buck.
It does, yeah. Age will get to you, buddy.
No, you're supposed to say what does.
What does?
Shit. That man made a lot of money off bumper stickers.
A little bit of Forrest Gump for you.
Forrest Gump. I'm not a smart man, but I know the Chiefs might three-peat.
Yeah, they definitely just might do it.
It's
but they won't go
good.
undefeated. They won't go undefeated.
Hey, well, I'm holding out hope for that now. The only thing that scares me is the Steelers. I think we've got the Bucks in the bag.
I don't know about in the bag, but I feel pretty confident about it.
I feel pretty good. The Steelers, I'm a little worried about.
I just can't be worried about Russell Wilson.
I know you hate that guy so much.
He's never been impressive. He's never done anything impressive.
He has. He's just done a whole lot of things that are doofy. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he's on the Steelers.
All right, guys, we're getting out of here. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
Go Chiefs.
Chiefs.